Hey, 99.1 Mike FM, good morning to you. I'm talking over the music because we're also live on Facebook, and I don't want to get cut off of Facebook as well. If you haven't gone to the 99.1 Mike FM Facebook page, go ahead and get over there now. We're broadcasting live on there. We're also going to have Dr. Doppler on here in a second. Actually, right now, Dr. Doppler joins us. Good morning, Dr. Doppler.
Good morning. Are you Frozen? Does the movie Frozen sound good?
I don't know if I ever want to watch that movie again, Dr. Doppler.
Believe you.
Can we just remove that? Can we just remove that from all the, from history?
Well, let me start with the bright news. We're going to be in the 60s and 70s next week. How about that?
That'll work. Yes, we'll take that 100% for sure. 60s and 70s next week. You heard it from the man, meteorologist Dr. Doppler this morning.
There you go.
So you're in Fredericksburg, and you've had kind of a rough go. I guess you could say is kind of a light way to put it, right?
Yeah, there's people that have power all over the place. Different people are getting those rolling outages and stuff, but in my case, we just haven't had power since Monday. And so inside, even in our home, it's 43 right now.
It's 43 inside of your house.
Inside, yeah. I actually walked outside and I said, it's not that much different. But it's 32 right now officially, and we're starting to hit that freezing mark. That's the magic number we want to hit to get some of the ice off. I'm hearing a lot of trees around me falling off. The limbs are falling off. It's all over the place. Kind of live out. I'm not in the city, so that makes it hard. So travel has been really difficult, and we've just been kind of cooped up. No water since Sunday and all that. But the really cold stuff, like 7, 5, and 2 degrees like we had Monday and Tuesday, are kind of behind us for now,
That's
at least
good.
for part of the day. This morning started out warmer, but the problem was we had all this ice on Thursday last week, then the snow that moved in, and then now we're dealing with another round of that freezing rain that hit last night. So nothing is melting because the temperatures are freezing on the ground. Normal hill country, you'd see that go away in one day, but not when you have 3 different storms and you've got ice underneath the snow and then another layer of ice on top of the snow. So this is going to stick around. But I do believe we get above freezing, at least for a couple of hours today. That's my hope. I know it's cloudy now, but we have some drizzle, mist, and freezing drizzle, we'll call it at the moment, because it's still icing over. The roads are terrible.
It's still icing over right now.
Yes, and that'll continue for as long as we're at freezing. Many people ask me also, why is it raining if it's below freezing, and why does it snow when it's also below freezing? Well, there's a difference there, because right now we have warm air above us. It's actually warmer when you go up about 1,000 feet higher than it is on the ground. So that's why it's coming down as rain and then freezing on the roads.
Okay,
your windshield, because we're at the surface, we are freezing.
And that's a good question. That's a good answer that you have there, because my wife and I, we were talking about that the other day. We're like, how come it's so much colder and it's icing, and then when it's warmer, it seems like it snows? And that's because the sky temperature versus the ground temperature are different, right?
Yeah, we call it an inversion, because normally you would have colder air above you. But in this case, Arctic air is real heavy, so it falls to the ground, and then it's like spilling a glass of milk. The milk's not going to flood your whole kitchen, but it might flood the floor.
Okay.
Or accumulate on the floor, but it's not going to go all the way to the ceiling, right?
Right,
so,
right.
Wherever that layer is, where the temperature change is, it's reversed. So we've got, let's just pretend that everything dumped out of Alaska in a big old giant cup.
Right.
All right? And spilled into Texas and the whole country. Everything above it is actually still warm, so it slices the air with like a knife does with the butter or something. Above us, it's still actually warm. Today it is. So it takes a while for that Arctic air to totally mix out. So basically, we're colder on the ground than it is 1,000 feet up. Normal day, that would be the opposite. If we had sunshine, it would be warmer on the ground and probably colder the higher up you get. That's not the case today. Why we had snow on Monday, Sunday and Monday and all that, I don't know what day that was now. They're all running together.
Yeah, they are.
But when we look at the snow event, that was different because the air was so dense. The Arctic air, we dropped to like 2 degrees even on a cloudy night, which is rare for us. And to see that happen, that was just so dense, it was cold at all layers, then it's going to come down as snow. And if it's a little bit of warm air above and another layer of cold, and it hasn't completely made it to snowflake stage, then you get the sleet. Make sense now?
Yes, that does make sense.
So there's 3 different ways things can happen. We've had all of them this week. Ice is the worst by far because you don't want ice accumulation. You can almost somewhat get some traction on some snow, but when you have ice, we had everything wrong. Everything that could happen in terms of road conditions went wrong because you had the ice first, and then you had the snow. So even if you did get some traction, you only got it to a certain depth. You're still going to slip because the ice is still under you. And then you got another layer of ice on top of it right now. So it's just the worst of all worlds. But I hope it is able to melt some today. Models want to get us to 40, 41, 42. I'm not sure we'll get that warm, but it would be nice if we did. And then the negative of this, if we got another front coming, that's the bad part. It'll probably come in midday and switch our winds back to the north. So we've had a south wind that helped today, but
those winds are going. So the south wind is going actually over, though, right?
That's why that's another thing. It's bringing warmer air from the Gulf. Problem is we're so cold. It's such a dense and huge cold air mass that it's recirculating the cold air that is south and east of us and back into our area. It's just not as cold as it was when it first came in, if that makes sense.
It does.
So we're getting the Gulf is definitely warmer than what we had Monday, Tuesday, but it's not warm enough to give us 70s and 80s. So it's a bad deal for another couple of days. So I think we get out of the woods here on Saturday. I'm going to say for Saturday. I would like to think Friday afternoon, as an optimist, we'll get sunshine and probably help things out. But it's going to be cold again here, especially at night, the next couple of nights. And we may not be done with the precipitation necessarily because this next front comes in today, switching winds to the north, and we're going to drop below freezing again tonight. And what will happen then is we'll probably have another not as high maybe as what we just saw, but a chance of some snow.
Okay.
And wintry mix tonight. I've got a lower chance, maybe not as heavy as what we had overnight, but there's that one more system. And then after that, I think we're going to hopefully be done with the storm systems and then get into some 50s on Saturday and 60s on Sunday. But I have teens in the forecast for a low again Friday morning, just because I think we're going to clear out Friday.
Right.
And it's good during the day, but at night not so much because with the snowpack it's going to drop like a rock at night. So cold night still for tonight, tomorrow night, and hopefully we get on the right track for warmer weather Saturday and Sunday, and hopefully everybody gets their power back, which has been a disaster. That
has been really bad. Have you ever heard or seen anything about the possibility of this happening before it happened?
Well, I know everybody had time to prepare. We've been talking about this a long time about the cold air, and it was record-breaking in Alaska. It's record-breaking in Alaska. Once it spills, it's got to go somewhere. So we always kind of thought that was going to be the case, but I think maybe it was I don't know really what's happened with power. I can't even explain. I don't know how all that works. It's too complicated for me.
Yeah, it is complicated.
But and I don't know what grid is on what because I have other people across the highway from me that have had power, but in our case and on the entire side of the highway out miles and miles, nobody's had it on our side. So it's just bizarre. But and then these rolling outages, which we had like everybody else, we're getting like an hour of power here and then an hour not and all that. Well, that happened Monday slightly, and then all of a sudden it went off and it stayed off. So we're just we're pretty cold inside. I guess the body can't adapt to it. We're like sleeping in sleeping bags and in every blanket you can find.
Yeah, that's the thing. Water, blankets, sleeping bags, and whatever you can find just to kind of bundle up and stay warm through this. It'll be over here before we know it. I mean, I know it seems like minutes or hours right now, but it will be over here soon.
I do believe we get above freezing today just to help us out a few hours. I wish it was all day before the next front came, but we do have one more front to deal with. So I can't say it's over yet, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, the best way to put it. And I think Saturday, Sundays, everybody's going to probably feel like, thank God.
Yeah, this is finally
over. It gets
over.
into the 50s and 60s.
Anything else like this in the forecast? I mean, how are we looking after this week?
Well, long range, of course, it's hard. I haven't had my normal computer models just with the lack of power. That's why I can't update a lot of things right now. Even weather's been difficult to update just since I lost power. But I don't see anything like this, and I'm not saying we won't be done with winter yet, but I don't see anything like this, not in the forecast anytime soon. And if we did have anything like this again, I mean, gosh, what record-breaking that would be. But I wouldn't see anything like this again for years to come, hopefully.
So
but,
would it make sense to say that the groundhog was right this year?
He was in Pennsylvania, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, he was.
What did he see a shadow, or did he not see a shadow? I don't remember. It seems like so long ago now.
Yeah, you know what? For his 37% accuracy in life, I don't know why he picked this year to mess up everybody's lives. It figures, though,
yeah,
right?
I know, right? Why 21? Why couldn't it wait a couple years? Let us get back to normal a little bit first.
Stupid little rodent.
All right, Dr. Doppler, thank you so much for checking in with us. Hang on the line for me if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.